Max adjusted the strap of his worn leather satchel as he trudged through the slick streets of East London. The rain drummed relentlessly on the pavement, pooling in dark, shimmering puddles that reflected the blurry glow of neon signs. His breath misted in the chilly night air, and the faint hum of distant traffic only accentuated the loneliness that had come to define his life. At 23, Max felt older than his years. A degree in literature sat gathering dust on his shelf, its promise of a bright future long faded. His dream of becoming a writer had become a quiet ache, buried under the weight of bills and rejection letters. Tonight, he found himself wandering aimlessly, the rhythmic patter of rain his only companion, until something unusual caught his eye. Down a narrow alley, a soft golden light flickered, cutting through the damp haze. Intrigued, Max turned and saw a small stall nestled in the shadows. A single oil lamp illuminated rows of weathered books stacked haphazardly on the creaking wooden table. Behind it stood a hunched figure cloaked in a tattered grey robe.
Strange place for a bookstall.
Down a narrow alley, a soft golden light flickered, cutting through the damp haze. Intrigued, Max turned and saw a small stall nestled in the shadows. A single oil lamp illuminated rows of weathered books stacked haphazardly on the creaking wooden table. Behind it stood a hunched figure cloaked in a tattered grey robe.
Strange place for a bookstall.
The vendor's face was obscured by the hood, but his eyes, sharp and unnervingly bright, gleamed in the dim light. Vendor, looking for something special? Max hesitated, his eyes drifting to the collection of books. Most were unremarkable. Their spines faded and cracked, but one stood out. It was larger than the others, bound in dark leather that seemed to glisten faintly despite the lack of direct light. Strange symbols were etched into its surface, their patterns intricate and hypnotic. "Max, how much?" The vendor tilted his head, his expression unreadable. "Vendor, for you? Just a small price, but remember, some books choose their readers." Max chuckled nervously, digging into his pocket for a few crumpled bills. The vendor accepted them with a hand that was skeletal and pale, his long fingers brushing against Max's. As Max turned to leave, clutching the tome under his arm, the vendor's parting words followed him into the rain. "Vendor, beware what you awaken, boy. Curiosity often leads to regret."